In this video, we are going to discuss important aspects about problem statement as one of the elements of the introduction. And usually it is written after the background of about the problem, in the sense that you introduce for the problem, you write some important background information about the problem, and then after that you move on to write the problem statement, which is so important to be written precisely and clearly so that the readers can easily understand exactly what is meant by that problem and why you are interested to go for it. The problem statement presents the idea or the issue or the situation that you as a researcher intends to examine in the study. That is to say, what exactly the problem. When you read the problem statement, then you can easily understand what is the problem the researcher is trying to search and is trying to generate information about them. The following are important points to be considered when writing the problem statement. The problem statement should be clear, concise, and well supported, in the sense that it's easily understood by the reader, by the readers, in order to understand the problem. What is the problem exactly? And a problem statement actually the description of difficulty or lack that needs to be solved, or at least researched to see whether a solution can be found or not. And the boundaries of the research should be clearly demarcated. I mean, the problem statement, you make some sort of demarcation for the research problem. You determine the boundaries exactly of the problem. And once the research problem was selected, then the researcher must define specifically the problem and what is that problem. As we have mentioned in the background information, you introduce the problem, you write some important information about the problem, the magnitude of the problem, the distribution of the problem among human population, the geographical distribution, etc. And then you go for that the problem statement is considered at the backbone of the introduction of the research proposal. In the sense that if the problem statement is clearly stated, this will facilitate the understanding of the whole proposal. Clear and precise statement of the problem will facilitate the statement of the other elements like the justification, the objectives, and the selection of the appropriate design. A good problem statement is usually written as one sentence or more, and then you make some sort of elaboration for it. In the sense that from the first 2 or 3 lines, I have to understand exactly what the problem, and then furtherly, you can make some sort of elaboration, more clarification for the reader to understand the problem exactly. But usually, it is one sentence with several paragraphs that are elaborated by the researcher to facilitate understanding of that problem. It is a common error that the investigators tend to write problem statement that is too lengthy and vague without addressing exactly and clearly what is that problem. So one of the important features of problem statement is that it is written in a clear manner. It's written clearly that could be easily understood and will facilitate for the readers to understand the remaining parts of the proposal. And as I have mentioned, it is the backbone of the introduction. If the investigator has not clearly stated the problem, then that would be something unfavorable for the readers and unfavorable for those who are trying to understand the problem. So it is very important to write the problem statement clearly. The problem statement can be written in form of declarative statement or questions. And in some schools, they are writing the problem statement as a declarative statement or in form of questions. And for example, we can talk about delayed referral of emergency obstetrical cases, increases maternal mortality and morbidity. It's declarative format, but it could be written as a question format. Does delayed referral of emergency obstetrical cases increase maternal mortality and morbidity? And it's a question format. Then you make some sort of elaboration. Delayed referral starts at home and continues on the way and even after arrival to the hospital. The studies reported increased maternal mortality and morbidity to varying degrees, indicating multiple factors, but still some relevant issues remain untouched. For example, quality of obstetrical emergency services and gender aspects. The hospital should have well-trained staff, equipped casualty, and life support resources to save the life of patients. So if we can observe that in the first two lines, we have stated clearly the problem, and then the three paragraphs, in the three paragraphs, we have add elaboration for the problem to facilitate understanding of the problem statement. In example 2, for example, family-based direct observed treatment of tuberculosis decreases the defaulting rate among tuberculosis patients. It's declarative. It could be written in a question format, like, does family-based direct observed treatment of tuberculosis decrease defaulting rate among TB patients? It's a question format. Then we can go furtherly for elaboration on that problem, that family-based observed treatment of tuberculosis is considered as an effective approach to deliver TB treatment services. World Health Organization supported the adoption of the family-based approach to ensure continuity of treatment. Still, evidence has to be generated to document the impact of the family-based approach on a reduction of defaulting rate among TB patients. From these two examples, we noted that we state in the first 2 or 3 lines the problem state clearly, and then you elaborate on it. Either we use the declarative format or the question format. In the coming session, we are going to differentiate between the research questions and the problem statement so that people will not be confusing two things. But here we use some schools, some authors use the schools and authors they use the question format to write the problem statement. But commonly we encounter that problem statement is written as 3 or 4 lines, and then you can make elaboration on it. It means that declarative format is commonly used for problem statement. Thank you very much.